All right, moving on to one-step equations, and these are multiplication and division equations. So my first one is 3x equals 36. When you have just a variable and a number right next to each other, it means multiplication. Okay, I know I've said that before, but I'm just going to keep reminding you. So this is 3 times x equals 36. Okay, so 3 times x equals 36. If this is multiplication, I want to find the identity property of multiplication. Therefore, I want to create a 1 where this 3 is. In order to do that, I'm using the opposite of multiplication, which is division. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides of the equation because the equation needs to stay balanced. Okay, and then 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. There's my 1. That gives me my x by itself. That's the identity property of multiplication. 1 times anything is the anything. So I have x equals, and then I have to divide by 3 over here because I did it on that side. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So if you use this 12 and substitute it into my original problem, I have 3 times 12 equals 36. Okay, and that is a true equation. All right, let's do one that looks like division next. Okay, so we've discussed before that this fraction bar means division. So r divided by 8 equals 4. Okay, r is my unknown. So because I'm using division here, I need to use multiplication to create the identity property of multiplication. So instead of dividing, in this, as I did in the last one, I'm going to move this 5 over. I'm going to multiply times 8 over 1. Because basically this is 1 over 8. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So now I have 8, because 8 times 1 is 8, and then 1 times 8 is 8. R equals 4, because I multiplied times 8 over here. I need to multiply times 8 over 1 over here. Okay, so these are both over 1 now. 8 over 8, 8 divided by 8 gives me 1. That isolates my variable. That's the identity property of multiplication. So R is equal to 4 times 8, which is 32. And then 1 times 1, obviously, is 1. So 32 over 1 is the same thing as just straight up 32. So now I'm going to take my 32 and substitute it in for my original equation. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Okay? True statement. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Okay, true statement. Okay, see if you can figure out the rest of those. And we're going to move on to the word problems, I think, after that. Oh no, we're going to do, let's see. Oh yeah, your solutions are on the back, I think. Yeah. All right, let's move over to, these are all basically the same. All right, now we have some that are smaller, and it says solve each equation. So these themselves are smaller, but these are mixed numbers and improper fractions. So while they look intimidating, you're doing exactly the same thing. All right, so I have, and for right now, we're gonna not use the negatives, so just pretend like there's no negatives there. So we're gonna say -4 over 3m equals 0. Okay, so like I said, we're going to erase the negatives. We're not going to deal with the negatives. I just want you to practice how to do these. Negatives right now are not important in terms of multiplication and division. We haven't even gotten there yet. All right, so I have 4 over 3. In order to get this to be the identity property of multiplication, I need to multiply by some number that's going to create a 1 out of this. Okay, I know that sounded super confusing when I said that just now. So I have 4/3 times something equals 1. My objective is to find something that creates a 1. We've talked about reciprocals. Okay, so reciprocals are flipped upside down. We talked about division. We said flip and multiply. That flip is the reciprocal. So when we have a fractional multiplication problem, we're going to use the reciprocal of that fraction to create a 1. So I'm going to multiply times 3 over 4. So when I multiply by the reciprocal, I get the same number on the top as I do on the bottom, which creates the 1. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 over 12 equals 1. So the number I want to use up here is this one. So make sure you write that down so that you don't forget it. You can always stop the video. So up here, I'm going to multiply times 3 over 4. And then I get, and on this side, I need to multiply times 3 over 4. Because whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side. So 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Times m, that gives me my 1. That's my identity property of 1. 1 times anything equals the anything. Okay, and then over here I have 0 times 3/4. It's just going to give me 0. So that leaves me m by itself equals 0.